I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I put the mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns out with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts. I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack. Everything that I lack, everything that I want. And I see matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed and
What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Sorry about the delay on this video. I've had technical difficulties with uploading videos to YouTube for some reason. They get uploaded and then they look like they're fine, come back next day and they're actually not uploaded at all. So I had a video in between this one and the last one, but unfortunately it got taken down for some reason. I'm going to try to get it uploaded so you might get 2 videos out of 1. Along with this one of course, but if not, then I'll have to just redo that one on a different day. No big deal though, we'll get it going. Today's video we're going to be doing prepping this tank for graphics, airbrush work. Comment down below whether what you guys would like to see on this one. I'm going to try to do, I want to do old school graphics, kind of follow the body lines on this because it's got really nice curves and nice body lines on this tank. So that's the plan, old school retro style. So on this, with this being freshly painted, got this done a few days ago. Let it sit for a couple days so it should be nice and dry, nice and hard, especially with how cold it's been. It's going to be nice and hard for us. 2 things you need for this. Like I said, we're going back to red Scotch-Brite. I'm going to red Scotch-Brite the entire thing, get all the grooves, everything, nice and get it all scuffed up. Then we're going to go to 800 DA. We're going to buzz over that, try to get it as nice and smooth. You want to get it as nice and smooth as you want, or as you can, just because when you go lay that paint on there, you want it to be slick. You don't want any imperfections, no dirt or anything to get left in that new paint that we're going to be putting on this thing. So let's go ahead and get this thing scuffed. And with it being fresh, be kind of careful because it is still fresh, even though it's been sit for a few days. You can burn through it with it being fresh, especially with the red Scotch-Brite. At this point, like I said, the very first video I posted was about prepping new panels for paint. It was featured. This tank was featured on that video. That paint had been sitting on there for a lot longer than what this has, so this will be actually a lot easier to burn through it if you're not careful. What you're doing is you're just knocking off that shine. It'll be a lot easier to scuff too as well. It's not like something that's been sitting for years that you're taking and you're sanding down. So it won't take no time at all to do this. Especially with the red Scotch-Brite. If you wanted to use gray, go ahead and use gray if that's all you got laying around. Like I said on my other videos, red's all I use. Unless it's a brand new raw bumper, then you want to use gray. If it's clear, base, anything like that, always use red first. And just be careful around your edges. Like I said, you can burn through them pretty quick with this being prep paint. But you want to give a nice bite, so when you put on that new paint, it's got something to stick to. It's actually pretty easy, it goes by pretty quick. You could probably get something prepped in just a few minutes with this. Alright. just leave it like this, and then they'll go straight to taping, cleaning, taping, putting their artwork on it or whatever. But we're going to take it a step further. We're actually going to sand it down. Any dirt nibs that you don't see, especially being white, you won't see them. You might be able to feel them, but we want to get those out. So we're going to go 800 on a DA. We're just going to buzz it down. When we painted this came out really, really nice, so it's not going to take much at all. But you still, with this, you still, even though it's a high grit sandpaper, you still want to be cautious of all the edges and everything like that, because you don't want to sand them too long because you will burn through it really quick. I keep running my hand back over this, even though it's sanded. I want to still make sure that all these little dirt nibs, anything that I feel in the paint, is as smooth as I can get it. Feels pretty good on that side. And this side feels pretty good as well. So I'm pretty happy with it right now. So what I'm going to do is blow this off. Same paper that I just used, I'm going to stick it on the back of my red scotch right here, and I'm going to get in those areas that I couldn't get to with the DA. This was just an extra step just to make sure, for adhesion purposes, that next time I go to clear this, or if I put paint on this, anything that's going to get added onto this is actually going to stick to it for the long term. There's a lot of grooves on this, there's a lot of body lines like I said, so you want to make sure it's nice and sanded. Because the last thing you want is go put paint on this, and either you take a blowgun to it to clean it back off when you go to clear it, or anything like that, that the paint blows right off on you. I've had that happen to me when first starting out doing this stuff, and it's no fun to go back in and have to redo it from scratch. This method is just extra insurance is all what I call it. Nothing crazy. It's extra insurance. Alright. I think we about got it. Alright, I'm going to blow it off again and clean her up. Then we're going to grab some glass cleaner, some clean paper towel, two cuts on this because I like to fold it when I'm cleaning. That way I know it's nice and clean. Everything's off that panel. Fold it up just like this. Really nice. And spray away glass cleaner. Like I said, I use this on everything I pre-clean just because it does stay wet and it's really good about not streaking. And I hog it on there. Make sure all the edges and everything, because all that dirt, you want to get off of this. Any black marks or anything that's dirt from your hands, you want to make sure it's all clean. Because with this being white, you got to actually take an extra step on the cleaner to make sure you do get all this dirt off of it. Because if you go back and you don't get it all off and you go to clear, you're going to see that underneath of it. And then you really got to restart from scratch. I just want to make sure everything's nice and clean. I got a little scuff mark right here I need to sand down. I really don't take, a lot of guys will take thinner and clean it. I really don't do that, especially with being fresh paint. Even on a car that's never been painted, you know, it's got that factory paint on it. I try really, really hard not to take thinner to it. Unless I'm doing a blend on it or something like that to clean it. That's about the only time I'll take thinner to actually clean something, is cleaning the parts that aren't going to get painted. I say that just because with new paint and thinner will eat this, it'll heat it back up, and it'll eat right through it. You can leave smudges in it, you can leave streaks in it. It's really not good to use it on fresh paint. Unless you have to. So I've got a little black mark here. I'm just going to take my 800 in my hand and get rid of it. It's gone. Same thing right there. And this is the area, this is the part of the process where you can actually, since it's all nice and clean, you can go back through, look at it, make sure, you know, look at all your edges, make sure all the shiny, because number one thing is with this is you want it to look flat again. You don't want any of the shiny, that means that clear is not scuffed properly. So you're going to make sure everything's nice and flat. Because you're trying to make this last as long as possible. You want your paint jobs to last at least 10 years. You know, if the customer doesn't take care of it, you know, for some reason he rides it through the dirt and everything, starts getting beat up, that's not really your fault. But as far as being a painter, you want to make sure your paint's going to stick for the long term. And this is how you're going to do it. The little stuff like this is the things that, you know, you're on these channels and they don't really explain to you that well. Is, you know, why are they doing what they're doing and what they're showing. That looks good to me. You know, like I said, I want to go through and look at my edges. You know, make sure all that shiny is knocked down. And again, just like I said, you got to be careful because you will burn through it. Alright, I think for the most part it is ready for paint again. Kind of give you guys a little walk around of what it should look like after you get done prepping it. So nice and flat. You want no shiny at all. So Comment down below. Like I said earlier, I'm wanting to do old school graphics on this, following the body lines, do some different texture techniques to show you guys. Maybe some airbrush work. If you guys want to see something in particular, comment down below what you would like to see, and I'll get something worked out. And then I'll show you a video on prepping it for artwork, taping it up, things of that nature, and actually putting the artwork on here. So until next time, guys, be careful, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.